Scott. Ask Scott.
Hey Scott, this is Chris calling you from the beautiful coast of Maine. On a recent hot seat with Chris Schaefer, you guys were talking about using a tool from SEO book, a duplicator tool where he was scraping keywords from the top 3 ASINs for a product and for a product niche, and using this tool to be able to, I guess, show all the duplicated keywords. My assumption would be to use those duplicated keywords among those 3 top products to be able to use in your back end of your product. I was just wondering if you might be able to expand a little bit on that, because it sounds like a really interesting technique and one that I had never heard of. So thanks so much. Really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you soon.
Hey, Chris, thank you so much for the question from Maine. I've been to Maine, and it's beautiful. Beautiful Maine, especially in the fall. My wife and my family, we've been to Maine quite a few times, and we love it in the fall. So I know right where you're talking. Great area. Okay, so good question. I think you might be a little bit confused as to what we were talking about there, and hopefully I can clear it up for you. What we were talking about, Chris and I, that is Chris Schaefer, is we were talking about how to optimize your back end of your keyword search terms, okay? Because now they've expanded that out to where we have 5,000 characters we're able to put in there. I think it's 1,000 per line, and there's 5 lines, and this was a way for you to get more keywords indexed for your listing. That's really what we were talking about. And then what we were talking about is the strategy of taking your top 3 competitors and then running them through the keyword inspector tool, okay? And then from there, taking all of those, okay, from all 3 of them, and then dumping them into a dedupe tool, basically a tool that will take any duplicates and get rid of them. So this way here, you're only showing 1. So if you have 3 different lists of keywords, you may have some that are duplicates across all 3. We only want that shown once. We don't want to duplicate it. So basically, because I know I'm going to get questions about this, the keyword inspector tool that we're talking about is, and again, you guys can check this out. I do have a link that will buy me coffee. It's theamazingseller.com/keywords. And that is the keyword inspector tool. You buy credits in order to run these reverse searches, okay, on these different ASINs. But again, you can check it out on the resources page as well. There's a link there, theamazingseller.com/resources or theamazingseller.com/keywords, and it'll take you basically to their page that kind of shows you exactly what I'm talking about here, okay? But that's what we did. We used that, we bought some credits, we ran some scrapes, and then from there, what we did is we ran those through a deduper, okay? An SEO book has a free one that you can use, and you just dump them in, and then you kind of check that you want to make sure that there's no duplicates, okay? And I can give you guys the link there as well. I probably should add that to my resources page too. So maybe by the time that you listen to this, I'll add it to the resources page, but I'll give you the link. It's going to be a longer link. And again, we'll drop it in the show notes, but this is the link, okay? tools.seobook.com/keyword-list-cleaner. And then from there, you can find that right there. And you'll see it'll say keyword list cleaner, and then you can choose your settings, remove duplicates, remove blank lines, sort alphabetically. There's a whole bunch of things. You just paste them in and then hit run list cleaner, and it'll take care of that for you. Again, that was a long, weird link. So if you want, go over to the resources page, theamazingseller.com/resources. Scroll down to where you'll see keyword research, I believe. And then from there, you'll find, I'll put a link there to SEO book duplicate list cleaner or something like that. So definitely check that out. You can also, I believe, run a dedupe inside of like Microsoft Word or one of those, maybe even in Google Docs. I'm not quite sure. But really it's just a deduper as far as like duplicate words. So you want to remove them. And then we just took those and then we're putting them in those first, or those, the back end search terms. So that's what we were talking about. So this way here because we know that in the back end of our listing, we don't need to repeat our keywords, okay? We can just put it in there once and then, Amazon will basically pick and choose to make those make sense. Now, there's been some talk about, could you do like stainless steel garlic press, comma, space, black handle garlic press, comma, space. Like some have said that they're testing that. Some are seeing results. Some are not seeing results. So I'm not really sure what to say on that. Well, I do know what to say. Test it and see what works for you. But as of right now, we've been kind of told that, and I've been, kind of seeing the results from just using the keyword once and putting it in there, and then you're going to be indexed and optimized for those keywords. So that's pretty much what we were talking about when we were discussing during that hot seat. All right, so hopefully that makes sense. All right, so again, the resources for this episode can be found at, or not even just the resources, but the transcripts, the show notes, all those links I mentioned, all of that can be found on this episode, which will be theamazingseller.com/238. And again, everything will be there, the transcripts, the links, the show notes, all of that stuff. And if you guys have a question and you guys want me to answer it on an upcoming show like this, head over to theamazingseller.com/ask. And I would love to hear from you. Just make sure you leave your first name, please. I want to be able to address you and kind of give you a little shout out, give you a little love. And speaking of love, if you guys can do me a quick favor, if you guys have been listening to this for a while, or maybe you just learned of the podcast and you're getting value from it, could you go out there and maybe share it? Maybe share it on Twitter. Maybe share it on Facebook, or maybe one of the communities that you're part of. Share the love a little bit. That would be cool. And maybe head over to iTunes and leave a review over there if you haven't done so already. That would be awesome. Well, hey there. Thank you so much for listening to that episode of Ask Scott. Now, that was just a highlight from one of our full episodes where I generally answer 3 to 4 questions on a podcast. If you want to go back and listen to all of the past archives of not just the Ask Scott session, but all of the full episodes where I do interviews with top Amazon sellers, people starting from scratch and building a business, if you want to listen to any of those episodes, head over to theamazingseller.com and you can find all of that over there. You can also find details there on how you can ask your own question and get it aired on an upcoming Ask Scott session and possibly see it here on YouTube or just on the podcast. All right, so definitely head over to theamazingseller.com. There's tons of resources over there for you to be able to build your e-commerce and Amazon business. So definitely go check that out. Now, I just wanted to remind you one thing before I let you go. There's a lot of information out there and some of it is really, really good. What I want you to remember is you have to not just consume the information, you have to actually apply that information. So take this information that you learned here today and apply it to your business. And this way here, you can get results. As my shirt says, I wear it almost daily. Take action. We'll see you guys.